The following is the 33rd class on the Nectar of Devotion given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on 6th January 1973 in Bombay.
Shri Gurun Vaishnava.
As far as material necessities are concerned, human civilization at the present moments is very much advanced in living comfortably, but still we are not happy because we are missing the point. The material comforts of life alone are not sufficient to make us happy. The vivid example is America, the richest nation of the world, having all facilities for material comfort, is producing a class of men completely confused and frustrated in life. I am appealing herewith to such confused men to learn the art of devotional service as directed in the Nectar of Devotion, and I am sure that the fire of material existence burning within their hearts will be immediately extinguished. The root cause of our dissatisfaction is that our dormant loving propensity has not been fulfilled despite our great advancement in the materialistic way of life. The Nectar of Devotion will give us practical hint how we can live in this material world perfectly engaged in devotional service and thus fulfill all our desires in this life and in the next.
So, people are misplaced. They are thinking that by material comfort, they practically we are seeing this competition of material comfort. The capitalists and the labor class, worker class, they're fighting, strike. Actually, the propensity is that that is explained in Marshall theory for economics. He is a student of economics. So, in that book, Mr. Marshall explains that the family affection is the origin of economic impetus. That's a fact. These hippies, they have no family at all. They are not married, and therefore there is no economic impetus. They can live in any way, any wretched condition of life. And one who is married, responsible man, he has got some responsibility to see, provided he has got affection for the family. Otherwise, practically, so-called family life, there is no affection. So this is a fact. The family affection, punshan sriyami sunibhavameta. There is a propensity of man association with woman. Vipuni bhava. Everyone is trying to find out the man or woman. And when they unite, that attraction becomes tightly knot. Tayur mitha hidayaganti mahu. Hidayaganti. And then the economic impetus starts. Atat griha kshetra sutapta vitkai. Griha, home, kshetra, land, are the office for earning money. Griha, kshetra, suta, children, friends, apta, and vitta, money. In this way, one becomes entangled in the so-called economic development. Dharma, artha, kam, moksha. People who take to religion mostly for economic development. People go to temple, church, for economic development. Oh God, give us our daily bread, we chant the prayer. This is economic gadi. No longer. So, materially, they want to anyway, they want to be happy materially. That is, bohirarthamani. Materially means this body. This body is matter. And I, the person who is living within the body, I am spirit. Dehinasmin jatha dehi. Asmin dehe dehina. There is the proprietor. He has several times explained. But people do not know this. As soon as one understands that I am not this body, I am different from this body, then his interest becomes equal. Because he is under ignorance that I am this body, therefore he is acting, working for this body. And as soon as it comes to the spiritual platform, Brahma Bhuta, he is no more interested in bodily comfort. That is the Vedic civilization. That one is educated to become introspective. He is educated to become introspective. The Brahmin, just like they're happy in any condition of life. That is our Vedic civilization. They accept poverty, not accept poverty. They are not very much interested. Either lie down on the ground or lie down on the sofa. They don't find any decoy. Because they are not interested in this bodily comfort. People may say, oh, this is very uncivilized way, the primitive way of life, that he is lying down on the ground just like enemy. But he does not know that he is not interested either lying down, because when he sleeps, he forgets whether he is lying down on the ground or right. So that is not very important. But at the present moment, they have taken that lying down on a very nice bed state cot and silken bed, that is advancement of study. But that is not advancement of study. Dasyatu buddhi kunapit vidhatuki. Because he is under the bodily concept of life. What is this body? It is made of three dhatu, kapha, pitta, vayu. So I am kapha, pitta, vayu? No. I am defined. I am Brahmatma. This knowledge is lacking. So, actually, our desire is that there must be easygoing life. I shall not work very much. I shall live in a comfortable house, in a secluded place, and live peacefully. That is his desire. But because he does not know how to get that desire fulfilled, he is trying to get that desire fulfilled on the bodily comfort. This is the mistake. Nati vidu sharpa gating hidusho. They do not know. That is the sharpa. Because, as it is said in the Vedas, God, natasya karyam paranancha vidyati. He has nothing to work. God has nothing to work for his economic development. Natasya karyam paranancha vidyati. Natasya samadhikashta dishyate. Because he is God, nobody is equal to him, and nobody greater than him. Sama adhikashta na drishyate. Parasya shakti vividhaiva sriyate. His energies are multi-energies, varieties of energies. And the energies are so perfect that sabhavik jnana bala kriya. everything is happening automatically. So that is actually life. Why one should? Krishna is dancing with the gopis, that's all. Why could he work? Why God should work? Nata satajam karanam charitvatu. Ananda chinmayana sa. Because we are part and parcel of God, Krishna, we are also trying to achieve that life, that there is no more to work, letting accumulate some bank balance, the interest income, and I shall sit down in a nice apartment and everything will come automatically and I life. That is actually life. Because we are part and parcel of God. The God has nothing to do. Krishna has nothing to do. So we also have nothing to do. Why you are working? They are taking this is pleasure. This material life means, because mostly they are infected with two qualities of material modes of nature, namely ignorance and passion. So, impeded by the ignorance and passion, they are working very hard, just like an ant, and still they are thinking that I am happy. He comes back to home, working very, very hard in the office, and he thinks, now I have my certificate, I have earned so much money. This is the nature of material life. That he will work very hard and he will think that this is material. But actually, if you are actually happy, then why you have to work so hard? But that is nonsense. This is nonsense. He does not know. Therefore, the karmis are called murhas, asses. The ass works hard for the washerman, and the washerman gives a morsel of grass, and he thinks I am happy. This is ass mentality. He has worked very hard, but getting that little bunch of grass, he can get it anywhere, but he thinks that this washerman gives it. Therefore, I have to work for it. Or he does not know that I am working for it. This is ass mentality. So actual life is that there should be no work. Why? Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitavi. Tavi jaiva nijurupatayatala. It's like Krishna is displaying how he is happy with his cowherd boy, with the gopi, with his father, with his mother. And those who are dependent on Krishna, they are so confident that the cowherd's boy, Krishna goes every day to the forest and there some demon comes and simply the cowherd boy, no, there is Krishna. He don't care for the demon. You see? And the demon is killed and they come home and they narrate the story to their mother. Oh, my dear mother, Krishna did this wonderful. The mother is also very appreciative. Our Krishna is so nice. He can do wonderful. He must be some demigod like that. Gossiping. So actually, this is life. This Vrindavan life is actual life. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavita. What is it like? Working so hard day and night, and discovering and so many things. And as soon as the water supply stopped, everything stopped. The electricity will stop, the electric train will stop, the lift will stop, the light will stop, and everything there will have up. So this artificial life is not actual life. Here, perceiving. And suppose there have been no rain for 1 or 2 years, there is a time, and for hundreds of years there will be no rain. You have to wait for that time. That time is coming at the end of Kali Yuga. For hundreds of years there will be no rain. and everything on the earth will be burnt into ashes. Not only there will be rain, but there the sunshine will be 12 times hot, 12 times hotter than the temperature will be. These are stated in the Bhagavad. Then everything will turn into ashes. And then there is torrents of rain. So these are descriptions are there. So it is dukkhalayam asatata. This place we are trying to live very comfortably in a play. That is not very good in Kali. Because Krishna, the creator, is a dukkhalayam asatata. Mamape takontiya. Pulanjan. Dukkhala napnubanti mahatmano samsiddhim param. So our aim should be how to go back to home, back to God. That is the real mission of human life. Because after asiting chatumang chaiva lakhansan jivajatishu, where 88,400,000 people applied after evolving, we have come to this human form of life. Tadavi vipalatamja. If we do not understand Govinda Charanadna, then it will default. It is simply misuse. The modern civilization, they do not know it. This Krishna consciousness movement is meant for educating people that you are simply wasting it. I'm doing my duty. The people say, this is the doctor says, I'm doing my duty. The engineer says, I'm doing my duty. The father says, I'm doing my duty. The mother says, I'm doing my duty. That's all right. But Bhagavad says, thank you very much that you are doing a duty. Dharmasyanusthita punsa vishaksena kathatubhya. Notpadayatra tingjadi brahmayeva ikeva. You are doing a duty, very nice. That's all right. But by doing your duty, if you do not develop your Krishna consciousness, that you are simply wasting your time. So these people, they do not. They are thinking that we are doing our duty. But it is nonsense. Real duty is to develop Krishna consciousness. If you are missing that point, this so-called duty is simply wasting. Dharmasyanusthita punsa vishaksena pathasuja notpadayatra tingjadi samayeva ikeva. So they do not know. The thing is that everyone is engaged in his duty. They are not interested to hear about Krishna Katha. That is the real business of life, because they are engaged in duty. So why they do that? Nati vidu sartada denjali. So they do not know. The real duty is to approach Vishnu. Sartada, interest. They are thinking, this is my interest. But real duty is sartavati. Everyone should be interested in his business. But the real business is human life. That approach Vishnu. Tad Vishnu paramam padam sada pastanti suyo. Those who are actually a fond, Aryan, their business is how to approach Vishnu. That is the big mantra. Lati vidu satagating Vishnu. Durasaya. They are thinking by these bodily comforts they will have. No, that's not the real happiness is different. That is Krishna concept. And Durasayadi Vahiratpamani. Andhajatandvi, and anyone will give him false hope that if you get independence, then overnight he'll become like that. That leader is very right. If there is some political meeting, giving only bluff, lots of blocks only, and people gathered there by thousands and millions to hear the block. Because my Guru Maharaj therefore used to say that this present human society is a society of the cheaters and the cheated. Somebody is being cheated and somebody is cheater. A combination of two things, cheater and the cheat. Because they do not know the real interest of life. And anyone will stick all nonsense and bluff, he will be very much adored. This is it. But actual interest is human life should be sober. He should, therefore, the first beginning of real life is to understand that I am not this body. This is the first lesson. But where is that education? Throughout the whole world, go anywhere. Where is that education? That students are being taught that you are not this body. That's the education. Then what is the value of this education? To keep them to keep them in the darkness, that is why. This is the only institution which is giving people real life. Ajnanatimidam dasya jnananjana talakaya chakshur militam jena tasmaya Sri Guru. Our request is therefore to try to understand this Krishna philosophy and take to it seriously. Then your life will be subtle. Otherwise you are simply wasting yourself. This is our message. And if you want to talk, you want to argue, then also you have to do that. You have to find so many books for this purpose. But this is a path. If you accept it, it is good. And the next question may be that why the people do not take to Krishna consciousness? If it is so important, why they do not take it? That is also explained by Prahlad Maharaj. Matinna Krishne parato satoma mitho vipadita vihabrata vihabrata adanta gobhi visadang tamesam punah punah charita charvana. The Matinna Krishna, if one stick to this principle that I shall be happy with this material body, I shall be happy within this material world, within my country, within my society. In this way, if one thinks, they are called Griham-brata. So, for such persons, Griham-bratana, those who want to become happy within this bodily environment, therefore, from the beginning of life, one has to be educated the value of life, or approach a devotee. What is that next verse? Prahlad Maharaj. Matinna Krishne parato ova nito vipatti vipanjitara adanta govi visatang tamist adanta govi. Because they cannot control their senses. The yoga system means to control the senses. Now yoga system has hidden, it means making the senses strong to enjoy. At the present moment, the so-called yoga system is exercise for making the body strong and senses strong. There is another verse, I forget. Nabnita Javat Laishang Matistavat Urukramandri Laishang Matistavat Urukramandri Spishat Tanathato Gamoja Darta Mahiyasan Padal Adhivishitam Nishkinchanara Navinipata Matinna Krishne Parato Satova. Krishna, Mati, by personal endeavor, sata, or by taking lessons from others. Just like we are preaching this Krishna consciousness, attending meeting also, conference also, but still Matinna Push. But that can be achieved only Laishan Matistar Ukraman Ring, unless one surrenders to the Mahiyasang Padaraja Vishu, unless one surrenders to the dust of the lotus feet of pure devotee, Krishna consciousness cannot be developed. It is not possible. That is the secret. Otherwise, you go on attending thousands of meetings and Bhagavad Tatha and so-called Tattanga. Unless you surrender to a person, Nidhi Pranipatena, Paritatnena, this is a process of surrender. As soon as there is lap of surrendering process, it is very difficult. Therefore, Krishna says surrender. Sarvadharman paristajya mamekam, surrender. So, Krishna's representative wants to surrender. Then, Krishna Mati Bhavat Annata Naivan Nai. Matinna Krishna Faraso Datova. Because we were read. These are instructions Lord Maharaj. Then next, read. Oh yeah.
The material comforts of life are not sufficient to make us happy. The vivid example is America.
Yeah, this is vivid example. In America, there is no scarcity of food. There is no scarcity of anything. Yeah, we cannot imagine that how there cannot be scarcity of food. But because here everything is scarcity, control. Similarly, I have seen Russia. Russia is advertising so much comfortable, but the poorest country, in my opinion. They stand in line, as here control everything. If you have to purchase your necessity, you have to waste 2 hours. Where is Santundar? So Santundar was going to partake our thing. So rice practically not available, nice quality. Dal also not. The butter is available, meat is available, and meat as much as you like. No fruits, no vegetable. It was very difficult for the vegetarian. And still, that is everything. He had to spend 2 hours for bringing milk and butter and apple rice. Everything is conscious. What are you speaking?
The material comforts of life alone are not sufficient to make us happy. The vivid example is America.
Yeah, and America, just the contrary. You can purchase any amount of milk, any amount of beef, any amount of rice, whatever you want. Everything is complete. So many stores, so many stock. And still, the production is so great that government restrict, don't produce one. Don't produce. They bribe the farmer. They don't produce. And I think the land, America, not even 1/4 of the land is utilized. If they utilize the whole land, I do not know how much they can produce. I think they can feed the whole world if they utilize. Similarly, I have seen in Australia, where I have seen in Africa, enough land is lying without cultivation. So God has given us the capacity to cultivate, to produce food. We can produce food enough quantity. There is no question of scarcity. The scarcity is due to our godlessness. Otherwise, by God's arrangement, Purnamidam, Purna Purnamudachyate. This is Purna. Everything is something. Just like nature. Nature produces. Sometimes in some season we see there is ample production of some mango. And sometimes there is no mango. So after all, it is in the hand of nature. Prakriti. The Prakriti Kramanani. Prakriti is producing. Prakriti is reducing. And behind the Prakriti there is Krishna. Maya Thakena Prakriti Suyate Sakaratma. So just become devotee of Krishna and do your duty. Tani Sthita Sudhigatan Tanuvanganavi. Then everything will be complete. There is no scarcity. This philosophy they want to, like Pangsa, they want to make minus Krishna. Like Ravan, they want to make minus Ram. And the result is that with their all families, with all their wealth and everything, material and health, vanity, faith. That is Prakriti. They are trying to avoid God. They are trying to become independent of God. Then what is the benefit? In every step we are seeing that we are dependent on God. Because God has not supplied rain for 1 year. There is so much catastrophe going on. But still they will not. Madinna Krishna Parato Satoba. Parato Satoba. If we advise that you take to Krishna consciousness and act accordingly, you'll be all happy. No, Madinna Krishna Parato Satoba. Because they have designed their own plan. So this is the then
His vivid example is America, the richest nation of the world, having all facilities for material comfort, is producing a class of men completely confused and frustrated in life. I have a feeling herewith to such confused men. The root cause of our dissatisfaction is that our dormant loving propensity has not been fulfilled, despite our great advancements in the materialistic way of life. The nectar of devotion will give us practical hint how we can live in this material world, perfectly engaged in devotional service, and thus fulfill all our desires in this life and the next. The nectar of devotion is not presented to condemn.
to become devotee of Krishna. All your desires will be good. That is also bad. Apama sarvakama ma mopakama udaradhi. Tibdena bhakti yogena jajeta paramampe. It is not that sometimes we think like that if we become devotee of God, then I become poor. Because Vaishnavas are generally appear to be poor. So, those who are after material happiness, they do not like to become Vaishnava. They become the devotee of Lord Shiva. Because by the grace of Lord Shiva, they get all material facilities. Therefore, generally, people are very much fond of becoming devotee of Lord Shiva. That this question was discussed between Yudhishthira Maharaj and not Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. Parikshit Maharaj inquired this, that Lord Vishnu is the master of goddess of fortune. But generally we find Vaishnavas are poor. And Lord Shiva, he hasn't got even a house. So still his devotees are very prosperous. So the explanation is given that Lord Shiva is the master of these material opulences. Durga Devi. Durga Devi is wife, the material nature. So devotees of Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva can get all material facilities. And Lord Vishnu, because he is going to be transferred to the spiritual world, therefore gradually his material affection is cutted. Of course, when he is advanced in devotion, then his material comforts are not curtailed. But when he is not advanced, if he thinks that by becoming Vaishnava, I shall be materially very opulent, and I shall enjoy this material enjoyment, then it is curtailed. That is explained in Bhagavad and Chaitanya Chaitanya. Jasama Grinnami Harisita Dhanam. Because Vishnu knows that he wants me, at the same time he wants some material opulence. So this is his ignorance. This is his ignorance. If he wants material opulence, then he has to remain here, within this material world. But he wants me to have Krishna, that is in the spiritual world. So if he has got attachment for this material world, then he cannot go. A slight attachment for this material world will oblige him to take another vow. If the mind is absorbed in karma or material comfort, then Krishna will give, all right, we take this birth again. Even the great yogi, because they think of material comfort, they are called vrashta. Yoga vrashta sanjayati, suchinam simatan. Although the facility is given to take birth in the family of high Brahmin or a high rich man, but it is material. It is material. And one who becomes perfectly Krishna conscious, he hasn't got it. Tapta deham punarjanmanai mami. He is immediately transferred to Krishna. But people are enamored by this material life to have high parentage, janmai sajja sutta sri. They are enamored by this thing. I must have in birth, in high family, in Brahmin family, in king's family, in heavenly planet, in demigod's family. They think this is life. But a devotee knows, no, this is not life. But devotee, vidimandradescha kitayate. What to speak of this rich family or that family or Brahmin family? Vidimandradescha kitayate. Even Vidhi means Lord Brahma, and Mahanda means Lord Indra. They are also considered, right? They are insects. They are apart living entity, just like ordinary insect. That is a position. The devotee is richest. Just like somebody we are discussing, somebody was speaking that you are richest. Yes, I am richest. Why not richest? Because a devotee does not care liberation. Kaivallam narakayat. The jnanis are after merging into the Brahma effulgence. The devotee thinks, what is this Brahman person? Narakayat. Pidasapura akasa puspaya. And the heavenly planet, that is phantasmagal. What is it? Duddanta India Tala Sattva Patali Puthata Namaskar. And the yogis, they are trying to subjugate the Indriyas. But for devotees, although the Indriyas are just like serpent, the poison teeth has been taken. Because the devotees Indriyas, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevana, that is now differently engaged. The devotees Indriyas are not engaged for sense gratification. His Indriyas are engaged for satisfying Krishna. Therefore, the poison teeth of Indriya is broken. This is the process. Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate, Vidimaindradischa Kitayate, Jat Karana Katakha Bhuyavata. This verse was written by one of your South Indian devotee, your Lord Chaitanya, Prabhupada Saraswati. So he, I will say, realized that Karuna Katakha Bhuyavatam Gaurami Vastu. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, I have achieved this success. Kaivallam naratayati, Tidatu Akasa Pushpaya. So actually, devotee is the richest, because they don't care even for yoga siddhi or heavenly planet or merging into the Brahma effulgence or become very rich and Brahmin. No, they don't find. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no. Nadhanang na janang na sundaring kavitang vajagadishaka. Mamo janmani janmani shari bhavata hitu. This is devotee. This is pure devotee. They don't want anything. Therefore they are shanta. If you want shanta, then you stop demanding. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. So long you want, you are in need. How that can be shanta? There is no possibility. Bhukti, mukti, siddhi, kami, sakali asam. Everyone. Bhukti means karmi, and mukti means jnani, and siddhi means yogi. They are wanting something. They cannot be shanta. Krishna bhakta nishkam. Krishna bhakta does not. Anything. Krishna bhakta even does not want Krishna. He wants only Krishna's service. That's all. Why I shall bother Krishna? Krishna is busy in his own business. Let him dance with the gopi. I shall complete service. That's all. Why shall I want Krishna? Why shall I disturb him? This is devotion. And